Yes, hello guys, and welcome to another video. Today, we're going to talk about part two of contract termination. This is a very serious thing. Also, most players playing football, of course, I understand that most players playing football, they don't actually know about this. The agents are the one doing this. But the reason I also do this video most of the time is for me to give you guys few knowledge, not really going into deep details, so that you people, I don't blow your heads off with maybe a lot of book work, but just give you light details so that you guys can learn just the basic stuff when it comes to what is happening in the let me say the book side of the football world. So let's take, for example, you're a top player and you find yourself on the bench. At one point in time, you're playing in a club, you find yourself on the bench, and at one point in time, you say, "No, I'm a big player, I cannot sit on the bench." And the coach coming to that club doesn't fancy you. What are you going to do? The only thing you say, you want to terminate your contract because you're a top player. You are going to lose a lot of endorsement deals, a lot of things, image right, and other sponsors will be calling, why are you not playing, all these things. So what is your solution to this? So let's look at it. But the first thing I have to say is, if you sign a contract is almost a promise you make to the club, or you people make to each other, binding you people that go has some legal terms that you cannot go against it. So for you, a player, if you have to terminate a contract, you have to only terminate it. There's one thing, there's just cause, and also terminating contract based on mutual understanding. That's one. Two, as I said, there's just cause. You can terminate contract based on just cause. And also three, you can have outstanding salaries. That's another one. And also, yes, those I will give you those three. But first, the first thing I will have to explain, let you understand, is termination on contract or just cause. It means first of all, let's give an example. I'm trying to look at a scenario to replay it so that you understand. I don't want to always give this thing based on the study material or the FIFA study book. Okay, let's take for example you're playing and no, let's take for example a club didn't pay you for 2 months. That's for example a just cause. Yes. So you have to inform the club of your decision because they didn't pay you for 2 months. So you have a reason. That's what we call just cause by according to FIFA rules and regulation. Yeah. So you have to inform them 15 days after 2 months, then you terminate your contract. Yes, but of course you do it through your agent. You know what I mean? Then let's take for example this case. After just let's take for example you are this player, then you come to a club also. Then the club has, let's say, someone in your position, and you have not been playing game throughout the year. You have been on the bench. If you play less than 10% of the games, you can also terminate your contract with like that. So those are two scenarios I've given you guys that you can always look for on. You can always look into it. So I'm going to give you an example that happened with a player, and then you can see how it goes, and then you can also learn from that. So first of all, let me give you the solution. When you have to know, to terminating your contract, you have to first know the original documents. Of course, you are going to know that because you signed that. You are going to have a copy from your agent, the legal grounds of everything that happens. So those are things you have to go through. So an example of a player that this happened to, because I would like to give an example. So in 2004, Romanian striker Andrian Muti was terminated by Chelsea for breaching his contract. So Chelsea cancelled his contract for breaching his contract after testing positive of a banned substance. So Chelsea cancelled his contract because he breached contract terms for being tested positive substance. Muto then signed with Juventus. I think most of us who are a little bit older also remember Muto. He used to play for Juventus. But FIFA ruled that he had breached his contract without just cause. So he didn't have reason for that, for contract termination. So do you know what FIFA went on to do? The outcome for that was very huge and difficult for Muto because he got very huge fine. So Muto was ordered to pay the sum of, guess what, 70 million in damages to Chelsea. this was one of the largest compensation ruling that you've ever heard. So there's a huge amount of fee when you breach contract that it can harm you, especially when you're playing professional football. I think most of people play amateur, they don't know this, and the rules and regulation in amateur with the amateurs, they juggle around with it because while there's not too much things involved in like money or whatsoever financial hindrance, I'll say that way. But if you do this when it comes to the professional environment, when millions are concerned, then you are in big trouble. So try to always learn what I'm saying here and also read, understand certain things. Even this thing is for sporting director, for agents, for whosoever. This is just for all you all. It's not just for agent, also players and people who want to play football, because in football there are a lot of fake agents, there are a lot of fake sporting directors, a lot of fake people. So it's good you always have a basic idea of all these things. As I said, Moto paid, he had to pay 17 million. Imagine, and this was back then in 2004. 2004. You can imagine how difficult it could be, because that time 70 million was huge money. So, guys, that's an example that I wanted to give you guys, and just be careful when it comes to contract stuff, when it comes to professional level. So, be very careful when it comes to everything. So, as I said, when it comes to contract, be careful and pay attention when anything you're signing. Also pay attention. I had a case also that I was just trying to talk to a young player from Belgium. I'm not really going to go into details about that because I didn't ask him if I should mention his case on this situation. I'm not going to mention his name actually. But the case was he spoke to an agent, and an agent has been promising him to take him to Sweden. An agent has been promising to take him to Sweden to sign for a third division, because he said because I've been in contact with him on LinkedIn. So he actually called me today and I gave him some few advice on that. So what was the case? The case was, for example, this agent has spoken to him and asked him to send him the sum of 350 euros for him to uh, pay him as a commission because he's an amateur player, so that he's going to bring him to play for a team in Sweden. And this young guy player happened to also explain to me that he is just a player looking for opportunity to play professional, and which is quite most young players falling victims for this. He's just a player. He wants to play pro. So any opportunity for this, he's going to jump into that. So this agent spoke to him, and then he began worried because he said few I mean after some time when he speaks, the agent doesn't really communicate. It's not sharp with the communication on WhatsApp as they used to do. He sent me the agent their communication details, and even the agent's picture. I can see also there the person. So he was asking me whether I know the agent on LinkedIn. So I'm not going to mention any personal details here, but I'm just going to give you guys a story that anybody who is a player or this agent doing this, you have to stop this, or player, watch out for these kind of things because these are dangerous. So let me go ahead with the story. What happened was, this guy is contacting the agent. He doesn't pick anymore again. So when this guy rang me, I told him straight away. I said, okay, do you do you have his license number on the FIFA platform? Because an agent, the normal official agent, they have their number on their license. I mean, on their LinkedIn. Of course, some people don't put. So I told him that if you ask the agent about his license number, you're going to find out whether it's the true agent or not. And secondly, agents don't ask commission. If anyone that you're a player, listen to this. Agent only get commissioning from you is when you sign the contract with the club. You don't get any commission from any. So what I just told him, that what the agent did, it's robbery, because no agent should be asking a player a commission when they haven't signed, when the player hasn't signed for a club. So if anybody listening to this, if an agent also asks you money, that this is because you're not an amateur, because you're an amateur player, you need to pay me commissioning, that is a wrong agent. That agent is not going to take you anywhere. Yeah, because the real agent focuses on getting you signed a professional contract, because he knows that the commissioning comes from your salary when you have signed a professional contract. So that is the story. So this was the story of this young man, that he was being duped by an agent, And when he's contacting the agent doesn't want to respond again. So I tried to tell him that he has just been duped by an agent, because agents don't have to take commissioning when the player hasn't signed with a club. So that's the fact. Anyways, this was just one of few incidents that I've been listening to, that I just wanted to drop it here so that you guys can also learn from it. So to any young footballer, if this message is for you all, if you're coming, in fact, I'll give you this. I'll give you this is one big tip I'm going to tell you guys. If you're a player and an agent is trying to talk to you, the first thing you, that player, I'm going to also talk about this on my Instagram. The first thing you, that player, should be doing is try to ask, please, can I have your FIFA agent license number? Because with that FIFA agent, if that agent doesn't provide that, he's not a serious agent. That's the big thing that FIFA has done, but many people don't know. If you're talking to anybody who is an agent, ask him, can you have his license number? If he provides his license number, then that's his real agent, because all agents have license number. Okay. So that was just a few a tip I wanted to give you guys. Okay. Take care and stay blessed. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Cheers.